how to settle debt the right way with debt collection companies who are coming after you for a debt that you owe an original creditor. I have a letter right here. You probably seen that. I'm not disclosing anyone because that says the Credit Repair Shop. And this is Wicker and Associates. We know that they are a major debt collection firm in 41 states. They are approved to do debt collection in 41 states, and they are one of the main debt collectors for American Express, Bank of America, and some of the other credit card companies. These are where the original creditor who maintains the debt. They're going and suing the credit card holder or the debtor for the money. And so what I want to do in this video, because this is one of the types of consultations that my office goes through on a daily basis, where someone is being sued by the original creditor, and they're being notified that they could potentially be sued. And they're wondering what are they going to be able to do? How can they work their way out of this? They don't want to get sued and have a garnishment. They don't want to get sued and have them go into their bank account and take their money. Like, they start scrambling and they, high anxiety. The debt collector is sending me the letters. Debt collector is calling me. The debt collector is threatening to sue me. The debt collector is taking pictures of a property that I have. Can I lose my property? Can I lose my assets? Like, these companies, debt collection companies, will go all out because their job is to collect money. Just like you go all out for where you work at, or this is what their job is. So they're going to go all out. They're going to use skip tracing to see what your personal assets are. They're going to use skip tracing to see what type of assets that you have, what type of vehicle you drive, what payments you're currently making, because all of that is just to gather data to see if you have potential money. All they're looking at is 25% of your total gross income, so they can garnish your wages, or they can just go dip right into your bank account. So what I'm going to do in this video, this is a pretend consultation. If you were to call my office, and this is what I would tell you on the phone. This is the way that we get into people's mind on what has to be done. We get a lot of people. So I'm just going to pretend like you're sitting across from me. And this is what most people say, is they say, Steve, I have this debt collection and I don't want to have it ruin my credit, or I don't want to have it ruin my credit more. I don't want them to come and take my money. I don't know what to do. But they'll say a lot of things about what they don't want to happen, like garnishment, taking money out of the bank account, contacting them. They say all the things that they don't want. And the first thing that we talk about with people is that I say to them, I hear you, I feel you, I understand. I've even been in your position before, in your seat, on the other side of what I'm about to tell you. Is that if you don't want this stuff to happen to you, then you have to make a decision right now on what needs to be done. Because you cannot tell me that you don't want them to sue you in court and then you do nothing about contacting them about the debt. Those two parallel, they don't exist in the same reality. If you do not contact that debt collection attorney who just notified you that they're going to sue you and take you to court over a debt from the original creditor, if you do not contact them, that existence that you want to not have them be able to go into your bank account, not to be able to garnish your wages, not to be able to ruin your credit even more, not to be able to call you on the phone, all of that stuff cannot exist if you don't deal with them. Like, you cannot have none of that happen if you don't get on the phone and deal with them directly about this. Or you have a company like mine get on the phone and deal with them about this. Because every step that you don't respond is gonna step up what they're gonna be able to do to you. If you don't respond to the first, demand letter, which if you were taking them to court or they're taking you to court, it starts with a demand letter. That is what is required. So you might be thinking, well, why are they sending me this demand letter? They know that I owe this debt. And then, by the way, this was a settlement. They were notifying us, thank you for arranging the settlement, that it's taken care of. But they're going to they have to send you that notification letter. And then the next step, if you don't respond to that notification letter, even if you do a debt validation with the original creditor, it's still going to potentially go to the next step because this is already on your credit. So if it wasn't on your credit and they bought the debt and you don't respond to it, they have permission to put it on your credit. If it's the original creditor, it's already on your credit. They're just getting prepared for the next step. They have to send that demand letter to be able to go to court, because what they're going to do is they're going to put in their court summons that here's a demand letter. We made a demand and the person didn't want to pay. So the next step to dealing with this is, if you do not want to get this to go to court, like, I need you to make this decision right now. If you're telling me that you don't want to deal with this in court, you don't want to potentially have this go on your credit as a judgment, you don't even want to have a judgment on your public records, then this is the path that we need to take. We need to contact them. And when we contact them, we tell them that you're struggling financially. And then we're going to see what options are available. Now, for you, you need to already know before you make that phone call if you have money to settle. So let's just say the amount of the debt is $10,000. You owe this credit card company $10,000. They did not sell the debt. They have a debt collection attorney coming after you for the debt. So this is the thinking of the debt collection attorney. I want to collect as much money for my client. I want to collect as much money for my client. So anything that you might say to them, whatever it is, they're going to think that you're lying, that you're not telling the truth. What you want to do is you're trying to settle that debt for as less that you, first, a lot of people don't even want to pay anything. You want to just try to get the debt forgiven. But other than that is that you want to try to settle that debt for less. So now let me tell you how the two mindsets are like going back and forth with each other. If you're telling them you want to settle that debt for less, you got to get them to understand that you are experiencing a hardship. And it's not just telling them that, you got to get them to believe it. If they don't believe it, they're just going to think that you're lying about what you're saying. The way that you do that is you just got to go back and forth with them, keep the communication open. But here's the thing that you got to be careful of, is that when you're talking directly to a debt collection company, they don't say this just to say it on the phone call. They say that they're recording the conversation, because anything that you say will be communications to pertaining to how they're going to be able to collect on that debt. So anything that you say, anything about your job, all of that stuff, but that's, you're like, I don't want to make that call because then they're going to ask me all those. You can't have that be dealt with if you don't. You can't talk to them. I mean, not you. If you have, you have to have communications with them to get to that end result. That's what I'm trying to say. You have to have the communications with them to get to the end result, but you got to do the communication the right way. So you call them up and you say, hey, I'm going through financial issues. They're probably thinking, hey, this person is lying. That's a rep on the phone. Their job is to try to get as much money as possible. Your job is where you have to get them to believe that you're going through financial issues. Now, when dealing with these companies, that's what they're going to do. They're going to say, okay, we hear you. We have an amount that we can settle this account for. It's going to usually be very high. If it's $10,000, maybe they might say $8,000. Depending on the company, maybe they even might say 50%. You never know. And if you had a 50%, they'll probably say, hey, we'll just do this. If you get the money over to us, we'll send you a contract, signed, sealed, delivered. You got out of it for 50 cents on the dollar. Or they may say, hey, if you want to get out of this for less, even for less than the $10,000, we want you to fill out financial statements in a way swearing to them that what you're stating is the truth. They're going to want to know about bank account, how much money you got, investments, real estate that you own, cars, all that stuff. Now, when I was on a consultation call one of the people said, well, they can't take my cars away from me, so why would they even want to know about my cars? Because this is it. Think about this. If you got a Mercedes-Benz, got a Range Rover, they can't take it, but what they know is that they know that those payments on those are not cheap. So that's what they're doing, is they're just trying to construct to see what the real picture could be from what you're telling them. So if you put on there, hey, I got a couple of cars, got a mortgage, all that, they can't take it. They can't take that stuff. In most situations, they cannot, like 99.99% of the times, they cannot take it. But they will know you got money. So that's all they're trying to do. So then if you fill that out, and they're going to be like, well, hey, we think that there's assets that could potentially be taken, or things, and some of the times they can, some of the times they can't, depending on what state you live in. But they'll be like, there's assets that could be taken if we went ahead with the court action. So so they'll say, hey, either pay us the $10,000 or we'll gamble and go to court. That's what they're basically saying, because they can see that they're not going to be able to take that stuff, but they believe that the income that you're making is going to allow them to be able to garnish your wages or garnish your bank account. So what you have to do is you have to have that back and forth with them to say, hey, and this is what we do, is we say, hey, we talked with our client, and how about we do this? You made that settlement offer for 50%, but you wanted documents to prove their financial situation. How about we do this? Let's just, go back to your client and let's just say, what can we do to where we don't have to, get with these documents? Our client is busy. They're under a lot of, they're frustrated, dealing with some other stuff, not just with this debt. Where can we go? Can you get back with your client and see what type of arrangement we can make without having to supply those documents? In most cases, they might go up, unless it's a really high dollar amount. Maybe they'll say, well, okay, instead of $5,000, $5,500, or maybe they'll go to $6,000. For you, depending on your personal situation, it might be, beneficial to you to say, hey, I don't want to supply those documents. Let's just do it for the $6,000. Let's just do it, be done and over with, because that's what you have to consider. And so, to close out the video, what I'm trying to get across to people, please like this video if you haven't done it yet. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share this video. What I'm trying to get across to people is that the big misconception that a lot of people have is that they're thinking that something can happen without having to do something else. So they're thinking that you can get out of a debt for paying it less, without any communication, without any proof. Like the people are just going to say yes to all of this stuff. They're not. You're dealing for this video is we're dealing with original creditors. So they're not going to just run away and go away. And, these people are going to come at you. Just like with this one here. They came at this person. They had to do this. They had to come to some agreement. But this individual did not want to disclose all of their assets. So it was our job to get to an arrangement that the original creditor, who is American Express, and their attorney would agree on. And so it could be done, but this is what you have to be thinking about. So rewind this video, listen to it again. This is just the way that it's done. We're not pretending here. This is dealing with clients, not some pretend making videos and watching from what other people do. People watch my videos and they make videos claiming they know about debt settlement. We do debt settlement, and we do it the right way. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, what makes us different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit portion scores, go to www.your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you, grab my 3-pack of letters: statute of limitations, debt validation, and cease and desist collection activities letter. If you have debt collectors that are trying to sue you or they're threatening, they made their demand letters and you need to deal with this so they don't make things worse for you, contact us. Go to my website, hit that live chat button and put in as much information about what you're going through so we can get you pointed in the right direction. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the channel, post your questions and comments.